guys, it's me, Allie, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the things I have learned in my 16 years. So if you guys didn't know, I turned 16 last week, and I took some time to just reflect and think about all the things that I have learned and all the things that I have been through. So I'm here today to kind of give you guys a little bit of my advice. Just a little disclaimer, you might not agree with everything I have to say, but this is just from my experience and what I've learned and what I've kind of just grown up with, because my parents have a huge impact on how I see the world, because they've always been super expressive and taught me a lot of things. My parents are a huge part of who I am today, and they have been there at my very, very lowest points and have got me out of like the literal dirt. It's so bad, but I wouldn't be who I am without them, and a lot of my morals and values come from them. So that's just the way I was kind of brought up, and what I've been through has kind of molded me to who I am today. And now I'm going to talk about all the things I've learned in my 16 years. I made a list of everything I want to talk about, because if not, I would go on forever about the most random topics. So some of these are basic, and then some of them are more detailed based on my personal experiences. So the first thing I have down is self-confidence, because that is something that we all struggle with. And I feel like I was the most confident little girl ever growing up. Like, I don't know where I got it from, but I honestly thought I was everything. Like, I thought I was that girl my whole childhood. And if you look back on videos of me like dancing, singing, and just always being so like confident and outgoing, like that's just who I was. And I feel like over the past year or so, I've kind of started realizing that I am not who I thought I was. Like, my level of confidence was up here. We all struggle with insecurities and everything, but I don't know what it is, but just recently I've just been even more insecure and like even more less confident. Does that even make sense? I don't know what it is. Like, my confidence was just through the roof, and then at one point it just completely like crashed. And it's really like, you know, difficult, because like social media, and like I'm a public figure, and like I'm an influencer, so like my face and body is everywhere. I definitely see where people might like look in and be like, oh, she's like so confident, like she posts so much, like her face, her body, like all the time. And I love taking pictures, so like that's why I post so much. But like, if you ever notice, like I never post my face, because I don't know what it is. I've just kind of like slowly started to not love the way I look, but it's a work in progress, and it's a day-to-day thing. So confidence is something that I've definitely struggled with. I hate putting my feelings on the internet, because I hate being vulnerable. I don't even know how to say that word, vulnerable. I don't know, but I hate being that. In summary, self-confidence is kind of just like a work in progress every day, a new step. And sometimes I'm like at an all-time high, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm actually like decent, and then the next day I'm like, oh my gosh. It's just kind of like day to day, my mood, like what time of the month it is. Like, it's a lot, especially as a girl, but it's kind of something that you just have to learn to deal with and process. And I know it does affect my mood a lot. Like, if I feel ugly, don't talk to me. Like, my mood really does affect how I react and how I talk to people, and it's something I want to work on, and I try to work on, but I'm a very expressive, emotional person. So if I'm not feeling myself, you will know it, and it like just, my whole demeanor changes when I don't feel good about myself, and I feel like I've been lashing out a lot because of it. I don't know what it is, but just confidence has been a huge struggle, especially recently. But something I have learned is, I don't know, because I'm still trying to learn about it. But in summary, I'm still continuing to work on that one. So I'll get back to you when I'm 17 and see if anything has changed. Because as of right now, I just have never been so unconfident, is that even a word? That it's like I'm trying to process and deal with it right now. So I'll get back to you guys on that one. The next one is friends, and I feel like I know a lot about this topic in particular, and I have learned a lot about like what type of friends and what type of people I like to surround myself with, because just like through middle school, I had a lot of different friends, and I kind of learned what type of people I like and what type of people I don't, and like what morals I look for. I've definitely had my fair share of experiences with friends and different types of people, and definitely set your standards and boundaries high and don't let yourself get taken advantage of, especially when it comes to friends, because there are so many fake people, especially in like high school. It's freaking crazy. Alright, so the next one is being alone, and I feel like in the past 6 months I have spent more time alone and kind of like realized that I don't need people around me 24/7 to like be okay all the time, you know what I mean? Because I was always the type of person that loved being like surrounded by people. Like I loved hanging out with people. Like every chance I got, I wanted to be with somebody, hanging out with people. Like I always wanted to be having fun, being out. I kind of just slowly stopped hanging out with people 24/7 and spent more time alone. And obviously it's like not ideal. Like I usually just sit on my phone the whole time I'm alone, but I've definitely been able to not be at like an all-time high all the time, which has been good because my mom and dad hate it when I'm like, I'm so bored, like I want to go do something, and they're like, you can't be having fun 24/7. So I've definitely been better about that. I've been like alone more, and being alone is not like terrible. Like I've now needed my alone time. Like after being with people for too long, I'm like, I just want to go home and be by myself and lay in my bed and just do nothing. So I've definitely learned that being alone is okay, and I need it very often now, not like once in a while like before. Like I've been spending a lot more time alone, and it's good and bad because sometimes get in my head and just my mind drifts to places it shouldn't be going, but at the same time it's good to like reflect and like think alone and not be surrounded with other people and other people's opinions 24/7. Because when you are with people or with a certain person all the time, like you have a best friend and you're always with them, or you have a group of friends and you're always with them, you kind of start reflecting their actions and their opinions, and you kind of like start building off of their character. And I feel like that was a lot of me when I was with people like 24/7, but now that I've been spending a lot more time alone, I feel like I've built my own personality and my own opinions and my own like things. I've got to know myself a lot more, and I realized like I'm not the outgoing person that I thought I was. I'm a lot more introverted than I thought I was, and I've kind of like not been able to like deal with people's bull anymore. Like if I don't want to talk to you, like I'm not talking to you. Like I can't like hold a conversation with you if I don't want to talk to you. And it's kind of bad. Like people probably think I'm a bitch, but like I seriously just can't be fake to somebody. Like if I don't want to, I'm not going to. I'm obviously not like a total bitch, but it's just I'm not the type of person to just walk up and start a conversation with anybody. Like I am not the type of person to start things first. Like if you start talking to me, like I'll make small talk, but I've definitely realized that I'm just not the type of person to talk to anybody. Alright, so the next one is relationships. Not friends, but like dating relationships. And I have been in 3 relationships, and they've all been pretty long term. Like my first one was 9 months, then 6 months, and now me and Uriel are going on more than a year. Like our 1 year was like last week. I know it's very hypocritical of me to say like, oh, don't date in high school, when I'm literally in a relationship, and I had another relationship during high school. But it's just Uriel isn't like other guys, and if you guys personally knew him, like you know a bit of him, but if you personally knew him, you guys would like understand. Like he is not like the typical high school dude that is a douche. Personally, if it feels right, go ahead for it, because you learn a lot from the relationships, and then you kind of like set your standards and your boundaries for what you're looking for in the next guy. So it's obviously good to experiment and learn while you're young, because it's like it's not like it's serious, like it's not like you're gonna get married. So it's like good to see what you like, see what you don't like, but at the same time don't put up with too much, because these guys are literally, it's embarrassing, it's sad. I don't talk about my previous relationship because it's personal, and like I'm not here to like talk about people. You definitely just have to know when enough is enough and be able to walk away from these relationships, because you're just in high school. It's not as serious as you make it out to be to yourself. So if you are getting taken advantage of, or you are just in a bad situation, just walk away from it, break up with them, and don't let it get that far in the next relationship. So it's definitely like a good time to learn about what you like and what you don't like. And I know that guys are like super manipulative, and like they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this if you break up with me. Just they're not gonna do it. They're gonna be on to the next girl the next week. Don't let yourself get manipulated. I don't know how to say that word, because been there, done that, and I let it go on for way too long. So be strong enough to walk away if you are gonna get into a relationship. The next one is parents, and I know this can be a very like sensitive topic for a lot of us, because it's kind of just like they like to control a lot of our lives and like what we're doing and who we're hanging out with and all these sorts of things, and it's for our own good. Like, they don't want us out doing bad things that might affect our future, but at the same time, we're teens, we want to go out, have fun. You know how it is. And my advice to like keep a good relationship with your parents and still be able to have like the teenage experience. In my personal case, I am not like the rebellious teenager, so like I have my parents' trust, but like I've been there where like I've lost their trust and it's like hard to regain it. So it's definitely just be smart. Like, don't be doing bad things. Like, you know what's good and what's bad. Like, it's not like an invisible line. Like, it's pretty much there. So just do the right things and have like that open relationship with your parents where like you guys can talk openly and you can be like, oh yeah, I went out and did this, and you won't have to lie and say you were doing this when in fact you were doing something else. Like, do the right things, make the right choices, and the relationship will build itself and it'll be like trusting, and you'll be able to go out and do the things that you want to do because you're doing the right things, not if you're doing the wrong things. So my parents are pretty lenient with what I do because I have proved to them that like I am the person I say I am. Like, I'm not saying this and I'm going out and doing the opposite. So I think I have built a good relationship with my parents and learned like what's right and what's wrong from my experiences. And me and my parents have been like rough spots where like our relationship wasn't as good as it is now, and it's really all the time. Like, you can't expect somebody to completely trust you overnight, especially if you lose that trust. So it's all about building trust and being patient, because what do you expect? Like, you're gonna do something wrong, get grounded, and you think the next day they're gonna be like, oh yeah, totally, go out and do anything you want. Like, no. It takes time and it takes a lot of effort. Like, you can't expect it to just build itself. So it's definitely communication and being patient with it, because it's really annoying. Like, parents can be a pain in the butt, but I think communication is definitely something that will help gain that relationship and build it up a lot. Next one is self-care and hygiene, and I feel like I never took care of myself like growing up, because looking back I'm like, you are literally musty. Like, why do you look like an actual girl? Like, I feel like my eyebrows were like literally almost touching. Like, it's so bad. Like, I didn't know I looked like that. As I said, like, I had a huge ego. Like, I had so much confidence. Now looking back I'm like, whoa, you needed to be humbled. But what I've learned with self-care and hygiene is just do it. Like, have a skincare routine. Like, figure out what is good for your skin, because I've been doing so many different things. I've been through so many different treatments and been to the dermatologist, and it's really just about not paying attention to people on social media, because everybody has different skin types. Even though the girl might have perfect skin, it's genetics, and that might not work for you. If you have acne prone skin and you're copying somebody's skincare routine that has literally not a single pore, obviously it's not going to work. So it's definitely about figuring out what works for you and taking care of yourself. I sometimes am really bad about it because I'm like super lazy and I'm just like, oh, I'll shower tomorrow. So like, just don't. Just go and do it. And like, it's like the smallest things about like, oh, I just want to go to bed. Like, I'm not going to get up and brush my teeth. Like, just get up and brush your teeth, wash your face, take off your makeup. It's so annoying sometimes because I'm lazy, but it's just about getting up and doing it, because it's good in the long run. So the next one is like trend following, or like being like a follower. Like, you just hop on everything and like do what everybody else is doing because it's like cool. And I definitely was, and like still am, a trend follower, because I don't know what it was. Like, I, especially in middle school, just always wanted to fit in. Like, there was just something about like, oh, VSCO girls, and like that was the thing. Like, VSCO girls were the thing and everybody was being them. And obviously, like, you're 11 or 12, like, you don't know who you are yet. You hop on what everybody else is doing. I definitely think it's something that you should not do. Like, if something you find cool, or you like a pair of shoes, like, and it's popular at the moment, like, go ahead for it, like, whatever. But don't specifically change yourself to fit the new trend, because next month there's going to be another new trend. So the next one is college, future, career type thing. So I've always been the type of person that has planned out everything I want for my future. Like, that is something that would keep me up at night. I would be planning things, and I've always had like a very good view on what I want my life to look like. And I feel like it has changed a little bit in the past year, but for the most part, like, I still love the same things, and I have always wanted to do something with like houses because I love like real estate. I love interior designing, so that has always been a huge thing. And since my dad works in construction and stuff, like, that's always been like our thing that like we've always planned on after high school, me like owning a house and building it and like interior designing it and stuff like that. And I was going to go to college for it, but I have reconsidered if I want to go to college or not. It's really expensive, and I just don't know if that's what I want to put my money into, because it's a very traditional route, and I know that's like what could go wrong. Like, okay, yeah, I'm spending tons of money, but like I can make new friends, I can have the college experience, but I just don't know if that is what I want, or if I want to take that money and travel the world and like make content for you guys and continue doing like what I'm doing right now, just solo maybe. But I know that for some people it's really hard to think about the future. Like, they go blank. They're like, I don't know what I want to do after high school. Like, I only know what I'm doing for the next 4 years of my life. After I graduate, who knows what I'll do. Like, I don't know if I want to go to college. I don't know what I even want to study in college. And I do feel like it's becoming more common to skip out on college and just start a business or start what you're actually passionate about without having to go do all the extra years, because you can do it without college. Like, college is not a necessary thing, but it's still very traditional for a lot of parents. They're like, oh no, you have to go to college, like it'll set you up for life. But at the same time, you're spending tons of money and you don't know if you're going to be set up for life. You don't know if like what you're going to study is going to be what you're going to actually do, so it could be just a waste of money and time. So I know it's very difficult for some people to like think about the future because they just don't know what they want to do, and that's completely okay. You're not supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life right now, but it's definitely just about figuring out your interest and trying to make that your job and what you can support yourself with. Because my mom has always said, and my dad, that like if you do what you love, it's not a job. If you are like going to be a doctor just for the money and you have to work so many years of your life just to like make a living, it's not going to be enjoyable. Like, you're not going to have fun clocking in every single day and doing that. And being a doctor is not easy. So don't get into something just because it has like high pay or because this and this and that. Do something that you enjoy. Like, take your passion and make it your job, because that's going to be something that you can actually do for the rest of your life and enjoy it. Because why would you do something you don't enjoy? You know what I mean? So it's not something to completely stress about. Just take your time and figure out like what you actually enjoy to do. So my last bullet point is hard things to overcome as like a general topic, and then I have some specific examples of that. So the first one is that not everybody will like you. You can't be a people pleaser. You can't always try to please everyone, and it's a hard thing because you're just like, oh, I just want to make everybody happy. Like, no, you have to think about yourself. You can't put yourself in the position where like you are hurting so that everybody else can be happy, because you're never gonna please everybody. It's just a known fact. Like, somebody is always gonna dislike you for one reason or another. So just never put that pressure on yourself to please everybody. The next one is giving second chances to everyone. Some people do deserve it, but know your value and that you will not put up with every single thing, because if you give a second chance, it will most likely happen again. And that leads me to the next one, that people will not change. Like, once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, it's just the way it is. If they can do it once, they can do it again. And you can't just be giving out second chances. And it goes with friendships as well. Like, if they betray you and talk behind your back once, they can do it again. And if they're the type of person to like talk crap about other people in front of you, they're doing it about you to other people. Like, just know your value and know when to be like, no, you're done. Like, we're done. This relationship is over. The camera died, so I had to change it. So the next one is standing up for yourself and not letting yourself get taken advantage of. And I know this could be difficult if you don't have like the voice or like the courage to speak up for yourself, but definitely just do it, or just walk away from the situation. Like, don't let that crap happen to you, because like, I know it's hard to like speak up sometimes because you're scared like they're gonna do something, or they're gonna like talk bad about you, or everybody's gonna turn on you and you can be alone. But like, if you're seeing something that's wrong or you're getting treated wrong, just stand up for yourself. I know it's hard, but just do it, because you can't let yourself be put through all that. So the last one is self-respect, which kind of ties into all the other ones. But we're young, most of us are girls, and we're really easy to get taken advantage of. So you have to know your boundaries, set them, like make them clear, especially in relationships, because sometimes it's hard to say no. Like you can get put into an uncomfortable situation, and if they don't know what your boundaries are, it could go further than you would like it, and there's no going back. Like once something is done, it's done. So definitely know your boundaries, set them clear with your partner, with your friends. Like know what is right and what is wrong, and make that clear to them, because it's like you can't go back. Like you can't just redo a situation or like undo it. So just set them clear from the beginning. Know what you like and what you don't like in relationships, and you will learn that with time. Life is definitely a learning game. You learn what you like and what you don't like in relationships and people and friendships and yourself. So that is some of the things I learned in the past 16 years of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got a little something from this. If you guys have any more questions or any more advice, leave it down below. And I do have an upcoming video where I'm going to do some more chatting, so stay tuned for that, and I might be driving. A little hint. See you guys on Sunday for a very fun video, so stay tuned for that as well.